You've probably seen the headlines, right? Mark Zuckerberg is building his own personal AI agent to help him run Meta. And, it's really tempting to just write this off as another tech billionaire's toy, but it's actually a signal of something way, way bigger. So today, we're going to break down how these AI agents aren't just automating tasks. They are fundamentally rewriting the logic of jobs, of management, and even the role of the CEO itself. And this, right here, this is the absolute heart of the matter. A CEO's real value, their whole purpose, kicks in when the data runs out. We're talking about those moments of conflict, of doubt, moral ambiguity, or those really high-stakes judgment calls. See, information can be automated, but judgment, that's a whole different story. And really, that's the framework for our whole discussion. We're digging into a fantastic analysis in Management Pro by Willem Scheepers. He uses that Zuckerberg story as a jumping-off point to decode this massive shift that's happening across the entire world of work. Okay, so let's start with this whole CEO chatbot thing. What is it actually designed to do, and why is it so much more than just a fancy gadget for the C-suite? What's so fascinating here is what is being automated. It's not the final decision. It's all the work that leads up to it. Think about it. Creating briefing packs, summarizing dashboards, tracking progress, comparing different scenarios. The AI does all the prep work, all the grunt work, which frees up the human to make the final critical call. And this is what leads us to the central idea of this entire analysis. The role of a leader is fundamentally shifting, away from being an information processor and into something totally new. So, let me introduce you to the exception manager. This is the future role of the CEO and, honestly, of many other leaders too. Their job isn't to be a human inbox, just forwarding emails and chasing down updates. No, their job is to handle the exceptions, all the messy, human, high-consequence problems that an algorithm just can't touch.
And you can really see the change here. The work itself shifts from gathering information to choosing between really complex options. The focus moves from the day-to-day operations to pure, unadulterated judgment. And the role itself transforms from just broadcasting information to actually weighing those difficult trade-offs. It's a pretty profound evolution.
But like we said at the start, this isn't just a story about Mark Zuckerberg. This technology is cascading down through the entire organization. It's turning into something that looks a lot more like basic infrastructure.
So this is the crucial point. This is becoming infrastructure. Companies like OpenAI and Cloudflare, they're positioning these agentic workflows not as some cool new feature, but as a foundational building block for how real work gets done. Handling customer queries, generating reports, updating systems. This is basically the new normal.
So what does this new normal actually feel like for employees? Well, the work is becoming both more compressed and a lot more intense. I mean, just look at how this breaks down. For every single one of these roles, all the routine work, the stuff at the bottom, it gets squeezed out and automated. And what's left behind? The hard stuff, the stuff at the top. The HR advisor isn't just screening resumes anymore, they're making tough calls on company culture. The support rep isn't just answering basic tickets, they're trying to recover trust after a massive failure. And this is the paradox, isn't it? For a lot of people, work could get way more engaging because all the boring, repetitive stuff is gone. But at the same time, it becomes psychologically heavier. I mean, when your job is a constant stream of high-stakes exceptions, the pressure is always on. And that margin for error, it just shrinks dramatically. This also has a huge structural impact on companies. Think about it. If AI agents are handling all the reporting, the follow-ups, the escalations, then the traditional role of middle management as an information pipeline starts to look kind of redundant. Organizations won't necessarily get smaller, but they're probably going to get a lot thinner in the middle. So why is all this happening so fast? Why does this shift feel so unavoidable? Well, as with most things, you just have to follow the money. And the numbers here are absolutely staggering. First, let's look at this number. This is the estimated annual cost for the AI models needed to run a full-time AI support agent, handling thousands of customer interactions every single month. $62 per year. Now, let's compare that to the median annual salary for a human customer service representative in the United States. That's over $42,000. I mean, just let that comparison sink in for a second. It's almost absurd. The cost difference is so immense that it makes experimenting with this technology an economic inevitability for pretty much any company out there. But let's be super clear here. The point isn't that an AI agent costing $62 is going to replace a person costing 42 grand tomorrow. That's not it. The real point is that the economic barrier to automating cognitive work has been completely and utterly obliterated. Even if an agent can only handle, say, 10 or 20% of a team's workload, it fundamentally changes the math on team size, on structure, and on hiring. Okay, so all of this brings us right back to the CEO. With this incredible new power at their fingertips, their most important job is no longer just running the company. It's deciding how the company should be run.
This is the new strategic mandate, and it's not about technology. It's all about governance. Leaders now have to decide where to set the boundaries. Which decisions are we never going to allow an AI to make? How do we redesign jobs so people can actually thrive in this new world? And a big one, who benefits from all this new productivity? These are profound, foundational choices.
At the end of the day, what we're seeing is the leader's role splitting in two. Zuckerberg is becoming the prototype, right? One part of his role is being encoded into a digital executor that handles coordination and getting stuff done, while the other part remains a human decider, totally focused on judgment and setting the direction. And that really leaves us with a critical question. This split is happening at the very top of the org chart. The rest of the organization is inevitably going to be reshaped in that image. So the final question isn't just for them, it's for all of us. As our own roles are split and redefined, will we be able to adapt and follow, or will we falter?